Losing the person I loved the most was one of the hardest things I've ever had to face.
And because I was away from home, it made it much more difficult.
That is when I saw how important it is to have a friend.
A friend to ease the burden.
A friend to take care of things when you can't.
A friend to help you get home.
Hello football fans, welcome to In Touch with a Legend. Yes, this is your favorite footballing show where we bring you a Zimbabwe footballing legends who come here to share with us their footballing journey. Nyara's a group powering this show. My name is Alois Bunjira. In the show today, we've got a different kind of legend, guys, because normally we have this legend that plays football from a young age all the way to retirement, and they start getting into coaching and the normal thing with Zimbabwean footballers. But today we've got a different kind of legend. This legend played in the junior ranks. He went up even in the national team, set up in the junior ranks until 23. Then he decided that he doesn't want to play soccer anymore. He decided to do something else. We want to know why. Because you remember last week we had a legend that actually played football but didn't reach the potential. Everybody in Highfield thought that he was going to be the Moses Tunga or the Peter Ndlovu of Highfield, but he never reached that level. And then we wanted to know why he didn't get to that level of dizziness. But now we want to know about a footballer that actually decided, while he was good enough, decided that football was not for him. He didn't want to pursue his footballing career. And at 23, he decided it was time for him to leave football. We want to know why. What happens to this player? Why did he make those decisions to actually do that? We have got Terrence Malunga in the studio. He is here to talk to us and tell us about why he did that. We also want to know about his footballing career, how he grew up and how he became a household footballer in Zimbabwe until he retired at the age of 23. Terence, welcome to the show.
Thanks, hello.
Yeah. But don't go with your confusion, emazita. Kubasa ndodaitswa nerimwe zita. Kubondaitswa nerimwe zita.
Well, the thing is, my name is Terrence Malunga.
Yes.
So when I was growing up, I'm pretty sure my mom would be the best person to answer.
Birth certificate.
Yeah, both of them are there. Both of them are there.
Yeah.
So I've always been called Tinashe from home. Yeah. I think that was my mom's favorite name. You know how it is. When your mom thinks that you should be called one other name and your dad is insisting on another name. So Terrence apparently is my granddad's name. Precisely. Yeah, I think that was the struggle, because I'm actually having the same struggle. I've just called my son, my only son, Tinashe, and the mom has another name. So I know a problem. I'm not getting
certificate.
So people have always Terrence is the first name.
No, yes.
So I actually got to know that my name is Terrence when I was in grade 7, right in the grade 7 exams. Yeah, where you asked to bring your birth certificate and they precisely.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. That's when I started knowing my actual name was Terrence when I was in grade 7. But people have
that's the first name.
Yeah, people have always called me Tinashe, and from where I grew up in Mutare, everybody knows me as Tinashe.
What's your first name? They don't know the other name.
Other name is Tinashe. But unfortunately,
so Tinashe is other.
Yeah, exactly. But unfortunately, everybody knows me as Tinashe in the football circles.
Okay.
Well,
yeah,
Jemba being the nickname.
Exactly. Okay, they know you as Tinashe.
Exactly.
But how did it all start? Where were you born and how did?
So I was born in Gweru. So my dad and my mom were servicemen. We're both in the army. So we've been around. We've been around the country.
At the what you call the army camp in
Gweru. It actually it has been a while. But it was in Gweru. My dad was there and my mom was also part of the army, and we've moved around. I still remember We stayed.
So
in
you
Masvingo
stayed
a
at
little
Tony
bit.
Airbus?
Yeah, around, but it was in Athlone. I think it's Athlone is just
it's
around
another
Tony.
place, it's different place. Okay.
So then from there we went to Masvingo. Masvingo, we went to Glenreef.
At what age?
That was around 4 or 5. That's as far as I can remember anyway.
What transfer or not?
Yeah, by transfer. Then we ended up in Mutare. That I was around 5, thereabout.
What, 3 Brigade?
Yeah, 3 Brigade. Yeah, that's where my mom was, but my dad was in Nyanga. And unfortunately,
I was mixing things up when I said Tony. When you say Kweru, usually people we jump to think that is the Air Force, but this was not the Air Force.
This was the Army.
Yeah. That's why I was saying Tony. Then Tony is the Air Force base.
Yeah. So my mom and my dad, I think they got separated around pretty much that time.
In Mutare
when I was around 4 or 5. So my dad was based in Nyanga. The Nyanga training camp, and my mom was at 3 Brigade.
At 3 Brigade?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's...
so where did you go? Did you stay with your...
So I was with my mom. I was with my mom. So that's where now we call home, in Mutare. So my mom got a house in Dangam from Mutare.
Oh, okay. And so you're my homeboy.
Is that so?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I'm originally from Honda Valley, but we stayed a little bit in Mutare as well. But most of my relatives are in Mutare.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
No, great. Yeah. So that's pretty much how it started. So in terms of how I started playing football, I wasn't a football player. Yeah. So I used to play tennis. I think if you are from Mutare, or if you have been passed through Mutare, you would understand that the most common sport in Mutare is tennis.
I know. Yeah, that's where genius.
That's where you have an geniuses and So I used to play tennis in the
because there are a lot of tennis facilities
precisely.
In Sakuba and Nangamuk. There are a lot of tennis courts around.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. And I still remember I played for Manicaland tennis, under 9s. Up until
that was proper grassroots under 9.
Yeah,
tennis,
it was crazy because I still remember in Mutare, I think they still have that. The extracurricular that we used to have, the PE lesson that you used to have when we were in grade 4. It was tennis.
Oh, that was yours.
Was tennis,
yeah, that was also mine in high school. I used to play tennis in high school.
Is that so?
I was actually second seed in my school. I could have gone for tennis if I was not that good in football.
Okay.
I had to choose football, but I was also good with the racket.
Well, for me, I think for me it wasn't about the choice. I think when my mom passed on, because my mom passed on when I was grade 3. So you know how it takes in tennis.
Which school did you go to?
I was at Shoakango Primary School. It was in Dangamva.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was. But then it was the in school. It was the new school around the hood. So not necessarily. You know when something's just new, it's just appealing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So back then it was that appealing. Mm-hmm. So I used to play tennis. My mom passed on when I was grade 3, and I couldn't get somebody to take me to. I think by then we used to go to Hillcrest and Chancellor Primary School. Those were in the other side of the town. Tennis courts, and that's where we used to train for the provincial team.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So when my mom passed, things went her way. You know how it is, and I couldn't have somebody to take me to tennis. Mm-hmm. And that's when the passion, or that's when football kicked in.
So who were you now staying with?
When my mom passed on, I stayed with my mom's sister, in for a little while. It's a long story.
She was also in Mutare.
It was also in Mutare, but then we actually stayed with her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So my mom passed on, then that's when football started, because I had to get an alternative anyway.
Because you were naturally a sports person.
Precisely.
So you needed to find a sport.
Exactly. And that's when, football, as you know, football is because you don't necessarily need a lot of stuff. You just need your
the equipment. Yeah,
you just need your feet. Exactly. That's why you don't use
your tennis, my racket, what.
Yeah. You just need your feet, your bare feet, and the little plastic ball, and that's it. That's when I started playing football. Around grade 3. Grade 4, I got into a local club. I think, but then it was Feruka, the CPMZ1 company. The Feruka, the oil pipeline.
Oil pipeline.
Yeah, oil pipeline company. They're the ones who were sponsoring a local team in Ndangamvura for juniors.
Yeah,
That's when I go. That's when I started.
Who was the coach?
The coach was we used to call him Coach Fox. Apparently he is late.
He's late.
Yeah, he's late. He's the one that actually picked me from tennis into football, and I think
but
also
you told him that I want my equipment and this is transport he saw the talent in you.
No, the thing is, I was so fortunate. I had a nephew of mine, a cousin, a sister's son, who was, but then he was a big name. I think he was part of the Mutare Boys High football team that won 97, 98.
Oh, okay.
That had the likes of Joseph Kabwe. Yeah.
Very good player though.
And my cousin was actually that good. John Mandaza, he later played for Rhinos.
Okay.
So I just wrote on his name. Back in the days, people thought I was Mandaza.
Oh, okay.
So I just wrote in the name, and then he was playing for Feruka, CPMZ in the Division 1.
In the Division 1.
So he just pushed me to the junior teams. And when I got there, but then I was quite skillful. I'm pretty sure by the time I got into the Premier League and started playing professionally, I was more of a hard man, a defensive midfielder. But back in the days, I was very skillful, and it's a surprise.
So what position were you playing when you joined?
When I joined the junior team, I was playing in the middle. Back then it was number 8.
Which group was it?
Under 13.
Oh, under 13.
Yeah, under 13. I was playing number 8. That's when it all started, and I was quite skillful. I think I was quite skillful.
Yeah.
So
it's okay. You know, times you blow your own horn. No
precisely, you have to blow it quite loud.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure anybody
if you
who
don't blow it, nobody is going to blow it.
Precisely, and anybody who's watching it, they always think, when they know Jemba is a hard man, a tackler, and okay, we're rough.
I don't know why. You can go to Trump and it's okay.
We're rough.
Yeah.
So I'm just making sure that they know that I used to be skillful. I used to be skillful.
Okay.
So that's when it all started. Fast forward, under 15, under 13 apparently. So that year I became the captain of the team. That was around grade 4, 9, 10 years. We went ahead, and of course I was 9, 10, yeah. Grade 4, 5. Grade 6, still in the under 13 team. But by then I still remember I used to captain I was the captain of the whole junior team.
Whole junior team.
Yeah, from under 17, under 15,
Which is
under 13. Yeah, when I was still under 13.
Is it?
So I was the captain, and all the football balls.
What?
All the balls.
Why were you made the captain?
I'm not so sure. Maybe because maybe ndandineka chikoro mbije na kufura.
But one reason why
no. But then when you're just bright, one. And you have got the skill.
Bright is the word.
Yeah, when you're bright and when you're bright and you have got the skill.
Yeah, bright. That combination is.
That's probably why the coach had an inclination. And he just liked me.
My role,
So this is what happened. So I know back even now back home they actually call me captain or keepers where I come from. Yeah, so they just say keepers. They don't even know the Jemba.
Okay.
So I was captain of under 17, under 15, and under 13, and all the balls, the cones, the beeps, and
do you know what I collect?
No. I used to stay them at my house. House.
But the younger city draft
the thing is I used to have other boys that could just send. Please, okay. So and so even the under 17s I used to ask them, can you take stuff to my house? That's you had authority. That's the beauty. That's the beauty that I had. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we played in Mutare, and maybe the break for me came in '99. I think I was just grade 6. When I got the Shine Soccer Academy, ASA, the one we studied in Bari, yes. Yeah, the one that Mr. Zengo formed, came to Mutare. So we got into it was a provincial team. where
he is very passionate about football.
he was. Yeah, he was. I've lost touch, unfortunately.
He still is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a project that was like that makes me very sad. That makes me very sad. You know, a lot of people may not know that. I think it's actually an opportunity, you know, to celebrate people like him.
Yeah, precisely.
You know, he had this project that he did with Prince Edward. With Prince Edward School, he went out in the whole of the country scouting for players, young players, under 15 players, and under 17 players. He put them through school at Prince Edward. You know, he brought boys from Blawayo, boys from Wange, from Mutare, put them at Prince Edward, and they started playing for Prince Edward. That's why now when people hear about Prince Edward School, boys soccer team, they are like untouchable. Exactly. That was the project. I think it was like 4 years ago. He got into that project, and my son was also part of the project. Bill Antonio, Makunike. Now a lot of people were like, no, they're not. You know, everyone wants to claim glory when these things happen. But Makunike, Bill Antonio, Junior, they were part of that project. There's a boy who is at FC Platinum now, very good player. You will hear about him, Craig. He's from there. He's playing for the under-19s now, but I'm sure he's going to get promoted soon. You know, he's from there. So that project was good. So I just wanted to celebrate you, but you were saying. But unfortunately, things went bad, and the project fell through. But those boys are now coming through now,
I'm pretty sure, like the way the very same opus that he used back then is the one that she have just explained. So this is what happened. He took me, myself, Onismo Basea, Fibion Minjoma from Mutare. So I can pride that I was.
That's his business.
Yeah, we're part of that first group. Yeah. We're part of that first group to get to be scouted from or to be brought from outside.
Oh, so Onismo was also in Mutare at that time.
Yeah, me and Onismo got on the same bus to Harare.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, that's very interesting.
And we actually
it's under 13.
It's under 13s.
Wow.
Yeah, but when we got here, we seemingly were a bit bigger than, because we're coming from Makomo.
Yeah,
so we're a little bit.
Exactly.
So we're a little bit bigger than the local boys. Yeah, so I actually got into the under 15, and then went into the under 17s.
Oh, okay.
When we came, so we were part of the first group. So when we came in, we played a match with Harare United in Mutare, and I just got scouted, and Onisimo and Fibion were playing. There was a tournament this side, and they were also scouted from here. But we both Onisimo and myself and Fibion, we came to
at the same time together.
At the same time, and we were lodged at in Waterfalls. There was a clubhouse in Waterfalls.
Oh, okay.
That was the first clubhouse for the academy, and that's when we also went to Lord Marvin.
Oh, he took you guys to Lord Marvin. That's why you ended up at Lord Marvin.
Exactly. That's the Lord Marvin team that made us.
But that is football development. It's
best. Yeah. And unfortunately, it's what we have lost over time.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for a man like him and his wife.
Yeah, shame. He tried to redo it at Prince Edward, but it fell through 2 years down the line.
It will probably be in Mutare, probably smoking weed or something else.
Oh my God! Yeah.
But we are so grateful that we had that intervention at that time. So that's how we got into our.
How was the clubhouse? What were you guys? Were you staying by yourselves?
No.
Were you washing your own clothes or cooking for yourselves?
No, it was life changing. I think for me it was life changing. The thing is, I'm pretty sure for Onisimo as well, because we're coming from like similar backgrounds. Yeah. Onisimo had also lost his parents, as well. I had also lost my parents. By the time I came here, and I still remember I was staying by myself in my house. I started staying by myself when I was in grade 6, when I was 11 to around 13 years.
Why stay by yourself?
So my aunt eloped with a man to Gweru. They just moved. They moved.
That was the long story.
That was the long story I was talking. So they just what happened is they actually
told me. Were you by yourself? Were you alone in your family? Your one?
No, we are 3. There's my brother, my sister. I'm the last.
Okay. And so where were they that time?
When my mom died, when my mom and dad, apparently my mom and dad just died in interval.
In a short space
of time.
Yeah.
So when my mom died, my aunt in Gweru, like the other aunt, took my sister, and my brother came here to Harare, to my uncle's house to start working.
Oh, okay.
He actually had to leave school. It was around
Then
4
you
or 5
stayed
a.m.
behind with your aunt.
Then I stayed behind with my aunt. But
she looked.
She looked, yeah. So when she went, okay, this is the funny thing. So what they did is when they were leaving, they were like, no, we're coming back next week. But the surprise was quite young. They packed these very big bags with blankets.
Yeah.
And they were like, no.
Next week, yeah.
And you know how it is when you're that young. You were like, no, they'll come back, and you probably want the freedom, because apparently the guy who came in, the guy moved in to our house, and this guy was quite abusive. He used to beat me like crazy. So when
who was the guy? Who was this guy?
My aunt's husband, or the boyfriend, or whatever.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So whatever the arrangement was, so this guy used to beat me. So when they say they are leaving, I was so happy. Like,
so we wouldn't get to the bow.
You got a bow, let them just go, because I'm just gonna have my freedom.
Yeah.
So 1 week turned into 2 weeks, 2 weeks turned into 3.
So what was happening? Were you by yourself?
Yeah, I was by myself in the house.
At that age?
When I was grade 6. So who
was giving you money for food?
Apparently my brother, older brother, he started working.
Okay.
Yeah. So he used to just send money. But then she registered mail, you could POSP.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I won't go to December POSP.
Wait a like it, because Maris's and Zabi was a post office.
But back then we used to just go and collect.
Yeah.
And probably that was my lifeline. That was my lifeline.
Yeah.
So that's from grade 6, grade 7, Form 1. I was just staying by myself.
So now at the clubhouse in Waterfalls.
So when we moved in, it was life changing. Like I tell you, I was coming from Dangamvura, having to about 2.5 years living by yourself. When we got in there, dude, it was in Waterfalls.
It's not like Hollywood.
It was Hollywood for me. It was Hollywood. And besides, you're coming from Mutare. You always, every time I came, I used to go to my uncle's place. It was in Krembon West.
Oh, okay.
Pamasoja, So it was just Pamasoja, back Mutare, Pamasoja. So when I had the opportunity to just go Mbari and Waterfalls, dude, it was life changing. And back then, we didn't have potholes.
Yeah, and that was the first time we were trying to fly over.
Precisely, dude. And I'm pretty sure the experience was the similar experience that Onismo had.
We're just gonna go for a break. When you come back, we wanna to start from there. We wanna know the experience.
Exactly.
The experience of coming to the lights. Coming to Hollywood.
To Harare.
Jimmy comes to town.
Exactly.
On that note, we're just gonna go for a break. When we come back, we're gonna be talking more about Terrence Malunga. They call him Jemba. Yes, we're gonna be talking about him when we come back. We want to know more about his footballing career. Don't move away. Nyarazo Group powering this show. We are back in a moment.
Nyaradzo Life Assurance Company, through one of its products, the Scorepec Plan, supports Highlanders Football Club, one of the biggest soccer teams in the country, and other local football clubs. With the Scorepec Plan, not only will you score for you and your family, but for your favorite local PSL soccer team as well. For each premium payment you make, your nominated soccer club will get paid from the Nyaradzo Life Assurance's Scorepec Plan.
Make sure you get a Scorepec. Support Highlanders, Ipos or Ipos.
When you get Scorepec, you're supporting Highlanders as a family and your own family.
Every time you subscribe to Scorepec, you're supporting your family and Highlanders family.
Get Scorepec today.
Always support Highlanders Football Club. Ipos.
Supporting your team has never been this rewarding. Get a Scorepec policy and support your favorite football team today.
As Nyaradzo, we strive to continuously bring convenience to our clients. Nyaradzo Group is proud to introduce Sawi, a new virtual chatbot assistant on WhatsApp. With Sawi, you are now able to interact with us from the comfort of your home and can be assisted anytime via WhatsApp with life assurance products, diaspora products, applying and assessing your policy, payment platforms, claims information, and any other queries concerning payments, policy information, or products and services. Simply WhatsApp Sawi on +263 712 992892 or visit the link showing on the screen to register and start interacting and receiving notifications from Sawi on WhatsApp. Now, join in and experience a new level of convenience 24 hours a day with Sawi.
Welcome to the second segment of the show, In Touch with the Legend. But before we go into the second segment, we want to remind you guys to actually subscribe to our YouTube channel, Sim SoccerNet. Go to that YouTube channel and subscribe to our channel. Then also go to our Facebook page and like the page. We want to interact with you. We want to share with you. We want to update you with what is happening on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page so that we can always keep you up to date on our activities. But yes, we have got Terrence Jemba Malunga in the studio. Terrence, waterfall, Jimmy comes to town, yeah?
Exactly.
And you are now drive through Beatrice Road, flyover. Our only flyover, by the way. Not that one. I'm not Julius Nere. Yeah, and those spaghetti road.
Very true.
Yeah, take us through.
So when we came in, like I said, the experience was something else. So when we arrived in Bari, we saw Coach Mike Madzanyika was waiting for us.
Yeah.
Coach Mike was waiting for us.
Mickey Dread.
He took us to Cresta, Bari, where we went to just.
Oh, you know Cresta Lord, Cresta and Bari.
Exactly.
Quite Bisto.
Back then was Bisto. Back then was Bisto.
That place was nice. We used to go there a lot.
Exactly.
For Bisto. Konadama.
So that was the experience. When we got there, so Coach Mike waiting for us, took us for Salsa. Took us to Waterfalls. So took us to Waterfalls. Yeah. When we got to Waterfalls, I think that was a life-changing experience for me. When we got there, we saw. So we were staying with Doc's Mr. Zenga's sister.
Oh, okay.
Auntie, I've forgotten the name, unfortunately. And we had a maid. We had our own room, our own beds. This was life-changing.
Yeah.
And when it was dinner time, we used to just be called that it's dinner time, getting on a dinner table. For a person like myself, having that feel of a family was life-changing.
Yeah.
Where you had brothers, where you had an aunt, just looking after you. That was life-changing. And when you were going to, then we enrolled at Low Malvern High School. When we were going to Low Malvern, I think we were amongst the best.
Okay, hold on. I just want to take you back just a little bit. When you were scouted in Mutare, how did they actually approach you, and who did they talk to? Did you make that decision on your own to decide you're not going to? Who did you inform?
Okay,
something like that. I think with me.
So when they approached me, but then I had that match. I scored 2 goals. And the funny thing, in that very team, Willard Gassende was also part of the team.
In your team?
The provincial team, yeah.
But he wasn't picked?
He wasn't. I told you I was that good.
That's football.
I told you I was that good. Okay. No, I'm joking, but he was also part of the team.
And who else?
Well, that team had all the talent in Mutare. I probably have forgotten.
I remember Willard because Willard went.
And also because Willard, I also played with Willard at Canas when he came from Highway.
Okay.
To Canas.
Take us
so
to
Willard was also part of the team. So when I scored, I was captain of the province. I was the provincial team captain. So when I scored 2 goals, they just called me to the car. And they
Under 18?
Under 18.
Provincial squad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they just called me to the car. and they told me, no, look, we want you in Harare. And I just said, I mean, I was young, I was naive, and I was like, no, it's all right, it's all good, you can come through. So we had our provincial manager, the team manager. Can you please forgive me? I've forgotten most of the names. So he came to my place. So when he came home, he saw that I was just staying by myself. So we made the decision. I made the decision to come over.
Oh, okay.
But fortunately enough, like I told you, John Mantasa's father was. We used to live a couple of blocks away from each other. Yeah. So he acted as a guardian. Oh, okay. He was the one who signed me off. Oh, okay. So he just signed me off to come over.
Okay. No, that was the part that we thought that Tangata jump
Exactly. I know.
How you know? So you are now at Waterfalls, family life,
exactly.
And it's gonna time coffee round table. How many were you?
But then when we started, there were three of us. Me, Onesimo, and Fabian.
Oh, okay.
But later on, I think if you are probably them by your twins.
Yes.
From Mount Upton. Peter and Patrick, they also joined.
Oh, they came from Mount Upton.
Mount Upton. They also joined in.
Was it a farm? Because that time
No, yeah. But a farm. But I'm pretty sure it was a farm. But obviously, next time you have them on the show, please ask them.
They are my boys. I used to see them there in South Africa.
Exactly,
they were staying in
Mpumalanga, yeah.
Yes.
So that's
Witbank,
yeah. So that's so they joined us later, and Preta Fenyika also joined us.
Preta was coming from where?
From Mavuku.
Oh, from Mavuku.
I think it was because of the distance, because all of us were now at Lord Marvin.
Okay.
All of the whole of us was now at
so you were part of that famous Harare United team.
Exactly.
But you started as my juniors, Agatha.
Yeah.
Okay. So who else was in that team that you arrived in, that Lord Marvin team? That was the hot Lord Marvin team.
I mean that team was star-studded. I think we can talk about football because
take us through the name.
So we had Elvis Melega. We have Knowledge Jim, Bnyana's Dia. Who else? Onismo Basera, of course. There was Aaron Sumumba.
Of course, Patrick and
Peter, Prete Fenyika, and
Ali Sadiki?
me and Ali were actually in the same team.
Okay,
same level. Ali Sadiki was also part and parcel, but Ali was 2 streams behind. Ali we used to play with him,
he was younger,
but he was quite young. Who else? Milton Mukaronda, he didn't play. Hadlan Zeruki was 3 streams behind.
But he was also part of the academy.
Yeah, he was part of us. Asa, and also Edward Sadomba was part of us. Benjamin Madero was part of us. Thomas Magwarimbo was part of us.
You see,
Jonah the keeper was part of us. So Asa was that star-studded.
And he didn't get to make money out of that project.
Precisely.
No, man, this is unfair.
Precisely.
There's something wrong with football. Because if somebody starts a project like that, you need to reap the rewards. You need to. Then look at the exports. Sadomba went out, Onisimo Basera, the Mayowa twins. Guys.
And I'm pretty sure it's I think if he had that similar project now.
He had it 2 years ago. It fell through. And look at the boys that are now coming out. The boys are now coming out.
So I'm not pretty sure where the hiccup is, but that project was the other project for me. I think it was like the preeminent project when we talk of academies. Because ACES was modeled around the ASA project.
Yes.
Because ACES, when most of these young guys, Kama and all these other hosts, good players that came after, they actually go to where they are now in Parktown, along Parktown 5th or 6th, where they have their clubhouse. It was modeled around ASA, what ASA was doing. And ASA was that star-studded. It had massive players.
Yeah. So when you got to Lord Marvin, now you're playing for ASA outside of school. Then you are in Kuchkoro, Lord Marvin. Take us through your time at Lord Marvin, the Coca-Cola, the tournaments and everything. Yeah.
So at Lord Marvin, I think we won the Coca-Cola from 2002, 2003 to 2004. I think we went
just win. Yes.
Yeah, I think the last that I had won was Prince Edward, where Norman and all the other hosts players were. Norman Maroto and all the other guys were.
No, Norman was they were Churchill.
Yeah. So
Churchill.
when Churchill won, the subsequent year, that's when our dominance came through. It was long more. I think it was 2002, 3, and 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it was Lord Morven Asa that was kind of a partnership, the very same that Prince Edward and Prince Edward School and Prince Edward Academy have. Where we just used Lord Morven facilities. We played for Lord Morven. And we, by then, like I'm saying, 2002, 3, and 4, we were unbeaten. And even in we used to have a regional Coca-Cola event. It was kind of a mini tournament where we used to have Zambia, Malawi, and Zimbabwe, if you still remember. We were also unbeaten in that period, in that streak, for 3 years running.
That team was strong. You know, when you look at the names there, it's
it was
started,
and we used to, and that team we used to pass the ball.
Yeah, everybody knew about it. Everybody talked about that team. So did you end up, because most of these boys, they played for the Zimbabwe junior national team.
Yeah.
Did you also?
So in Form 2, that's when I had my first under 17 call up.
Okay.
Yeah, I was Form 2. By then I was 14 years. Maybe the advantage that we had is whenever you got into the academy, the first thing that you got was a passport.
Oh yeah.
So I still remember our first under 17.
He was switched on, man.
He was. So our first under 17 call up, we went to Zishawani. And when we got at the beach, we were over 100 players. I think part of the players, Ovidio was also part of it. Part of the people who were called, under 17 were called in. We were over 100, and we played our first matches just for the coaches to see.
Where were you?
Shawani. Yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah.
where we were camping for the they were like bunkers. What do you call it? Bakata madomes.
Okay, yeah.
Just outside my class. But we were under Shaban. So when we got there, we were over 100. We played our first matches, and soon after, I think Man Zifa. There was Man Zifa, and Man Zifa said, "Vanima passports, go this side."
Don't say it.
and for some fate of chance, we were only 5. So myself, we were only 5. Myself included, and there was Blessing Mshangajike. Is it Blessing?
Kelvin.
No, Kelvin's brother. It was Blessing, yeah?
No, I don't know a Blessing Mshangashike.
It was Blessing. Yeah,
okay.
Blessing Mshangashike. He was also part of it.
I haven't heard about Blessing Mshangashike.
Oh, is it? Probably you might have missed it, but there was a Blessing Mshangashike.
Okay.
And there was Yabo, what was his name? But then he was playing for Rhinos. I think we were almost 7, and all of us were coming from Harare. So that's how we got into the under 17 team.
Automatic
under 17, and we they actually had to call other players from Harare and Bulawayo, those who had passports. So everybody was stressed out.
You see, instead, because this is Zimbabwe.
Exactly.
To be honest, this is Zimbabwe. To my booklet, time here, I mean that time, maybe yes, will be back now. I'm waiting. But time here, where to Karamabuko to Kazara to my book to this is Zimbabwe. It took me 2 hours for me to get my first passport. I had an ETD. And I was called to the national team, and I think the secretary for Zifa, she didn't think that I can get into the team. I didn't have my passport. I think my ETD had actually was almost expiring. So I was training with the team, and nobody expected me to be part of the team. We were going to Zambia, and all of a sudden. The night before, the coach assumed that I had the passport. The night before he selected me, I was in the team. And the lady was like, the boy doesn't have a passport.
Yeah.
And the following day, on day of traveling, I got my passport.
Exactly.
Because it was Zimbabwe. Go to the passport. So I think for me, they were just supposed to do that.
Yeah, precisely. I'm pretty sure.
To select the best players.
And just make sure.
My passport.
And just
make sure.
No. Well,
were you good enough for it?
To be quite honest, I was good enough. I can say I was good enough.
Okay.
I mean,
so it's not about
look at my track record. Look at my track record. I didn't manage though to maybe to go further, but I wasn't so bad. I mean, it's now.
No, you're good. You're captain and
and I was captain under 20. I kept it under 20.
National team. No, you were good.
Yeah, I kept it under 20 national team. So I
okay.
So I think I wasn't that bad. I think I was still going to make the team.
Okay.
So we got into under 17. I think, but we played 4 qualifiers. We were knocked out by is it South Africa? I still remember the second leg we played in Baba Fields.
Oh yeah.
The one that we were knocked out.
Who was playing for South Africa at that time?
Well, like I'm telling you, I've just lost memory of the names that we used to play with. But some of them went ahead to play even.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure out your generation.
Yeah.
Your generation was Yana Benedict Villakazi, so
I think
or Nassif Morris.
Yeah.
Or if it's the one that is above yours, it has to be that one, Yana Nassif Morris.
Yeah, I think that Yana Benedict younger 2 ahead of us.
It was ahead of you.
Yeah, 2 streams ahead of us.
So it can't be Nassif Morris because Nassif Morris was. I'm trying to get.
Like I said, I've lost memory of the names. But we lost that one. That's when my national team journey started. I went further to play for the under 20. I actually got called up for the under 20 when.
Who was coaching the under 17s?
Was Coach Somo.
Oh, okay. Sami
and Coach Alibaba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from Blawai. Yeah. I think this was also the same crop we moved up with
together
to the under 20s.
Under 20s.
Yeah,
and
under 20s, it was still Coach Sami, but Coach Matungure then took over. Yeah, Coach Matungure I think was coming from under 20, under 23. There was some sort of arrangement of continuing that they were trying to.
Oh yes, of course, yes, yeah. I remember. And the Coach Matungure stayed for a long time. Coach Gama, under 17, under 20, which was a very good setup for me because you can actually see the progression, and you also used to come and watch the under 17s, or to pick away Garuda under 20, and that was actually quite good. But now under 20, when I'm going my passport to go.
Exactly. I'm under 20.
Who did you play with in the under 20?
So under 20s, I started under 20 when I was just a bit lower than my age. So I was fortunate enough from under 17 go. The coach got a liking, and then when I was the youngest. They got to know my dad. I think on owner, I trained Nana owner, I trained Nana Nomen, I trained Nana Trimo. Exactly. That under 20. I used to train with it. I used to just. I was the young boy who was always with a very long.
That one was dead.
That one was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be the young boy with the long jersey. Just
I
training.
remember they came to a tournament, Sasol, I think, in Frenaching. Were you there?
No. Like I'm telling you, I used to just go train. I knew I wasn't gonna make mark.
Yeah, that tournament, Ona Gombani scored almost from the center line.
Yeah,
he hit a shot. But that
team was good. And it was that team was good. So I used to train with those crop, and when these guys left, then there was a crop where Onismo Basera and my twins and
Peter
came in. I used to also train. That's when I used to start. That's the under 20 I started playing.
Okay.
Where we had Costa Namenesu as part of the team. That's the under 20 that I started playing. But I was also quite young. I think, but then I was in Form 4, Form 5 at Mount Pleasant. But the subsequent,
Mount Pleasant?
Yeah, we later moved from Lord Malvern. Exactly.
Partnership
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So when the partnership broke down, we went to Mount Pleasant. And the whole of us, I think, but then I think that's when aces started being more visible. So stayed Claude Morgan, and we moved out of Kosovo. Yeah, and that's when, like I said, under 20. When I was from 5, that's when I started really playing for under 20s.
Okay,
from 6, started playing from 6. I kept in the under 20.
You were now the captain.
Yeah.
Now
this is Kamsoko. It's Tabani was part of the team. I was Ali was part of the team.
Ali Sadiq
was part of the team, and the late goalkeeper from Triangle, may so rest in peace. The one who passed, Ronald, yeah. Ronald was our keeper. Who else?
I remember.
Kangwa.
You see, whenever the Zimbabwe junior national teams came to South Africa, I was in South Africa then. I used to watch almost all the games wherever they are. We would with Charles Yohane, may so rest in peace. In the last tour, we used to follow the junior national. So I remember Ali Sadiki playing one brilliant game. No, in Joburg at Vosloras.
Yeah, so it was it was 2005.
Did you come for that?
Were
you in that team?
Yeah, I was the captain.
Ali Sadiq was slicing everybody.
Yeah, we actually lost in the final to SA.
Yeah,
we lost.
I remember that time. Okay, yeah.
And we actually
Ali was hot that time.
And we actually staged a boycott that very year. We didn't get on the plane.
Is it?
Yeah, after getting to the final. After getting to the final, we only got 300 runs. After spending 2 weeks in
South Africa,
in SA.
Then you got 300 runs as
allowances.
After
the tournament.
Then you refused. So what happened? Who was leading? You were the captain.
I was the captain.
Yeah. And so you were leading the
apparently so. So
apparently.
Yeah. So when we came back, I think the first flight went, and we got on the second flight. They made promises which unfortunately
you didn't get.
We didn't get.
So basically, you're old.
I'm not so sure if it's old. I think it is.
You're still old. The money.
I doubt.
Promise you, you're still old.
I doubt. As long as you don't have any papers, you don't get to KMA.
I know.
So I think that was part of the under 20s.
Then you just got into the plane and came home.
Yeah, we then led the subsequent year. I think there was Olympic qualifiers for the under 23s. I got called into the under 23. That's when I got the name Jemba Jemba.
On that note, we're just gonna go for a break. When we come back, we're gonna go into the third and final segment of In Touch with the Legend with Terrence Malunga, Jemba Jemba. Don't move away. We are back in a moment.
Losing the person I loved the most was one of the hardest things I've ever had to face.
And because I was away from home, it made it much more difficult.
That is when I saw how important it is to have a friend.
A friend to ease the burden.
A friend to take care of things when you can't.
A friend to help you get home.
Welcome back, the last segment of the show with Terrence Malunga. Yes, he is here in the studio telling us about his footballing story. But before we get into the last segment, we just want to remind you guys to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our page, Zim SoccerNet. Also go to our Facebook page and like the page. We want to interact with you so that we can give you updates and anything that is interesting on the YouTube channel or our Facebook page. We want you to get in touch with us all the time and enjoy what we give you at all times. So yeah, you were now playing, you were captain of the under 20s, then you graduated to the under 23. I like this script. You know, this was Zimbabwean football at its best.
Exactly.
You know, we were not winning major tournaments, but from under 17, from to under 20. Now you are in the under 23. Were you the captain as well?
No, but then I was quite young. I was quite young. I mean, I think I was 19.
So who called you Jemba Jemba?
Dama Tungurere.
Yeah.
So what was happening is like I told you, I got to transform from a very skillful midfielder to a hard man.
Who transformed?
I think it was Coach Mike Madzwanika.
Okay, yeah.
Because when we came, you know how showboating it is. I mean, when you're coming from Kurugation gonna bora kunjinga and wisa there. So when I came into the academy, this was a structured, systemized system where we were asked to play 2 touches, 1 touch, 2 touches, and I didn't fit, but they had to transform me to fit.
Okay.
Because I was a bit big, so they made me the defensive midfielder.
Okay.
So that's when I just started playing defensive midfielder.
Then they called you Jemba.
Yeah. So Jemba was because I was the hard man in the team. Yeah. So that was like, I'm fine doing Jemba. Doing Jemba.
Oh, Jemba Kukameru. Jemba
Jemba. So it so happened that he confused it and said Jemba. Jemba. Meaning Jembe. So from then, I still remember we trained, but then we were training ku Old Windsor. Yeah, and that was from Mr. Mponto's pitch.
Old Windsor.
That's where we used to be best.
It was a nice pitch.
It was a nice pitch, yeah. So that's when Jemba just started.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's Mr. Matungu's baby or nickname that he just started.
Okay. So how did you then graduate into the Ghana's? You later on played for Ghana.
So when we were around 19, when we was around 18, 19, like I told you, we had a structure. So you knew very well. As I was in the soccer academy, then Harare United.
Yeah.
I already Division 1 and Division 2.
Okay.
So
when made Division 1 and Division 2?
Exactly.
Right?
So it was quite systemized. You know, if you graduate, if you perform well, they say next year you're going to be in under 17. If you perform well, you're going to be in the Division 2. So I started playing Division 2 when I was in Form 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you know well when you play, you are in Division 1. Yeah. So that was the progression. So when I was around Form 5, that's when we met Mr. Shitima, Cuthbert Shitima.
Okay.
Ghana. Okay. That's when Ghana started. So when Ghana was starting, Mr. Shitima was our benefactor at Mount Pleasant.
Oh yes.
So Mr. Shitima used to sponsor us because he also had a nephew who used to play, who was also part of ASA. And now at Mount Pleasant.
Oh, okay. You were playing with the nephew.
With the nephew. Okay. So Mr. Tima he was just like a brother and uncle. He used to just come to our matches at Mount Pleasant. If we win,
he loves football.
He loves football. He is passionate. So he used to just give us a little bit of winning bonuses at school.
Is it?
Yeah. Wow. So when an opportunity came, when he started Ghana's in 2005, an opportunity came, and by then I wasn't playing regularly in Harare United Division 1.
Oh, okay.
Because like I told you that team was started.
Yeah.
So I moved from Harare United to Ghana's.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So when I moved from Harare United to Ghana's, that's when we started Ghana's.
So you were part of the early birds at Ghana's.
The early birds. Yeah. We were actually there were 4 of us. The Adons Vanave team because we used to move it.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. And so we were full of me, myself. Milton Mugaronda, Jaim Jambo, na Charles Makro.
Oh yes.
The nephew to Mr. Shitima. So that's when we moved to Ghana's. And
where was Jaim Jambo coming from?
Kwazana.
Oh, okay.
Kwazana, yeah. So that's when we moved to Ghana's. So I can say we're amongst the few.
Division 1.
But Iratanga is social setup.
Oh, okay.
But then Boat and Mr. Swine. Then bought franchise.
Sweeney.
Yeah, Sweeney
Mshonga.
Yeah. Then they bought a franchise.
Oh, so Sweeney Mshonga and Cuthbert Shitima were partners at Ghana.
In Ghana, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's when Ghana started. 2006. That's when I started playing for Ghana. I think.
Who was coaching then?
The other one, Moses Sugar.
Mostunga started
in Ghana.
The first project in Ghana.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 2006 we played in the Division 1 7. Then we got into the Premier League. 2007 got into the
with Moses Chunga.
With Moses Chunga, yeah.
Moses Chunga so stayed there for almost like 3 years.
Almost like 3 years.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we got into the Premier League in 2008 after we won the championship. He won Northern Region.
Yeah.
2008. That's when we got into the Premier League. We played in the Premier League. 2009. That's when we won the championship. PSL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give us the lineup of that team that won the championship
Well,
for Ghana.
for Ghana, if I still remember, hey, Jens, please forgive me. But it was I think when we won, we had Tafazwa on the goals.
Tafazwa Dube.
Yeah. Left back, I think we cut. That's when Cut started playing. Right back, there was Arno. I've forgotten the surname. Then CB, we had Carrington, Nyadongo, who went to Amazulu, and Kola, Ndala Kola, and D was myself. Attacking midfielder was Ramson. That's the year Ramson won.
Oh, Ramson won the Soccer Star of the
year. Yeah. And we had David Redion.
Yes.
We had Ali. Ali left. We had Norman. Gunn. We had Tapua Mangezi.
Where?
Right.
On the right wing, yeah.
On the right wing. But I think I have, I think pretty much that was in Nathan Zwini. Okay, Nathan Zwini had the right in most cases. Yeah. That was pretty much the core of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that won the championship.
Then you went into Africa.
We went into Africa.
Yeah. How nice was it? The boy from Dangambura.
Getting into Africa, it was nice. I think we can pride ourselves that we're the only Southern African team that won a match against our Yeah. We were the only. We won 1-0.
Yeah, at Rufaro.
Yeah. It was massive.
Did you play?
Yeah. But then I think I was playing right back. Because we had reinforced the team.
Oh, okay.
And that's when Willard came in, Elvis Meleka came in.
Oh, Willard actually was in that team that beat
Agali, yeah.
Okay.
He was also part of the team. So we had reinforced for the African Safari.
Yeah.
So we had, but then I was just playing right back.
Is it?
Yeah.
For many years? I'm sure you were now around 22 or 21, 22.
Yeah, I was 22, turning 23. Just soon after the African Safari, that's when I left football, unfortunately. So when we got knocked out in Egypt, we came back, we played against Caps. I got a red card. The next week, I played. There was a time when Christ Embassy was having a cup, a football match. Christ Embassy, yeah. They used to have Christ Embassy used to sponsor some sort of a match.
Yeah.
I went to play for the reserve team. I got a red card. Next week I came back, right?
After the suspension.
After the suspension, I got another red card. So it was.
What were you doing?
Like I told you, I was.
You were the hard man.
I was the hard man. I used to do all the dirty work, and they used to know that you used to do all the dirty work.
Did you break anyone's leg in the process?
No. I was a clever tackler, but so hard.
You were not that.
I wasn't ruthless. Ruthless.
So 3 red cards in a row.
That's when I felt Well, I'm not so sure why. Maybe it was just a calling for me to just quit.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you do? What happened? This is exactly. I really want to know what was going on. At 23, football. Because I know when you play football, footballers usually play football because they love.
We love.
Yes, because we cannot really say there's a lot of money in Zimbabwean football. At that age, wasn't your teammates, your former teammates at Harare United, Peter Mbaiwa, they'd gone to South Africa, and Onisimo Basera as well, Sadomba, Onisimo and Sadomba went together to Tembisa Classic. Yeah. So at that time, your teammates are going up. You deciding to leave football.
And I'm pretty sure by that time also my stock was so high. As a player.
And what was it? You were not expecting to go to South Africa or to Europe as well to progress in football?
No, the thing is, to be quite honest, the times I can't even explain it. It's so difficult to explain what just happened. Because I know for a fact, I in 2008, I actually got into a bank. That's when I started working in a bank.
How did that come about?
So banks used to have their league, the Bankers League, and they used to have this massive interbank.
Yes.
So I used to play for FBC Bank, Kuchibira. On Saturdays I go to play, and on Sunday I play.
To my incentives.
To my incentives, yeah. And maybe the chief maybe reason why I used to go there is one of my best friends who I used to play with at Canas, who I grew up with, it also just left football. Milton Mugaronda just left football. We used to call him Zato. So he just left football just from Norway. So he was now at the bank. So he was the one who told me, no.
So you thought it was good life from football?
No.
Work in the bank?
Like I said, when I got into the bank, I didn't think I was going to stay for 10 years. The term that I stayed in the bank. I thought it was going to be, because the arrangement was, we come through, right? We have a 3 months contract, just to play interbank. And after the 3 months, we move away. So when we got in, I still remember I was asked to go and see the HR officer. So I actually went with my A-level and O-level certificates.
Okay.
So he was so surprised. I heard you're just coming to be a non-clerical in a bank, but you have these these points. You have your O-levels. You have your 3 subjects at A-level. We can't make you a non-clerical. We just have to make you a clerk.
But were you still at Ghana at that time?
I was still at Ghana. Okay. The funny thing is, I actually had my kid.
Yeah, okay.
I left my kid downstairs when I went through to see the HR officer. I left my kid. I thought it was going to be a quickie. But I was wearing a suit. I borrowed a suit. Unfortunately, that was my first suit. I borrowed a suit. I thought it was going to be an interview, but it wasn't an interview. This was a done deal. Okay. So when I got in, he was like, no, he was so surprised. I was like, no, you actually passed your A-levels. You have 3 A-level passes and you have your O-level. No, we can't make you a non-clerical. We have to make you a clerk. That's when I started. And I thought I was just going to run to a training pitch at Alan Wilson. He told me, no, you are supposed to go and start now.
Work
at FBC. That's how I started.
Which branch was that?
So I started in the West. They call it the West, the central processing, where all these mandates, when you sign, all these opening accounts go to for filing and for actioning. That's where I went. Okay. So that's where I started my banking career.
On the job.
On the job.
You learn all that?
Yeah, I learned on the job. Exactly.
I'm a businessman.
Exactly.
I'm a company. These are our privileged clients. I'm a big.
Yeah. So that's so. But
do you watch face Jojo Kumabenga? Jojo,
I mean, we have classifications. No, we have classifications. We have the high net clients.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
All these high net clients, individuals and corporates.
So the day you started working, you didn't go to training.
Yeah. I actually had to give an apology.
So
the most fortunate thing is when I got into the bank, one of the supervisors just got a liking. He just liked me, and we just hit the relationship off. So what the arrangement was, I don't go for my lunch hour.
Oh, okay.
I go for training. So I used to go for training Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Okay.
So I used to I don't eat the lunch hour for Monday. Mondays I didn't go for lunch hours. I would just combine that one with the Tuesday. Then Wednesday I used to. I mean, this was off the books. I'm pretty sure if anyone from FPC is watching now, he's saying, okay, this was what was happening. So the arrangement was I forfeit my lunch hours. I also work an extra hour after work to supplement the 2 hours that I used to get for Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah. So I did that for 2 years. 2008. Training, football training, and working at the bank.
Okay, yeah.
So even back in 2008 when we won the championship, 2009 when we won the championship in Ghana, that was the arrangement. I took bus, and the fortunate thing is we had Momo was also coming from Pisma. So Momo used to drive through, pick me up. We used to go for training in our suits, go and change. After we get back in our suits, he drops me off at work. He also goes to his work. That was the arrangement for almost 2 years. So fortunate enough, you know how the challenge you have in a bank.
Saka aba manje moyo kamoyo ke kuda wenda ku Europe kana kuenda ku South Africa kanga sisibo.
Gangaripo. If the opportunity had come, I was still in the football, in the football circles. If the opportunity had come,
but did you have the dream?
Yeah, I think it's every boy's dream. Every boy who kicks a plastic ball in the streets has a dream to make it back.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's not all of us who
make it.
Who make it. Yeah, it's only a few. But every boy's dream is to play outside. And
so you said for 2 years you were doing it.
For doing it.
Yeah.
I was just running between the two.
And then what happened?
And I started at 2010, 2011. I started my undergrad. That's when I started my undergrad degree in law.
Okay.
So I was doing my law degree with UNISA. So it got to a point where it was training. I had to balance football, work, and books. Yeah. And that's probably when, after the 3 head cards, I felt probably maybe.
Let me just go into law.
Yeah, let me just go and be a lawyer. Yeah. So that's when I just left football. Not that I didn't love football. For me, football was my life. Yeah.
Did you go to Ghana's and to Mr. Chitima and say I don't want to play football anymore, or you just stopped going?
No, me and Chitima, we had that relationship. We're up until now. We talk that much. Me and him are like that close. He was just like a brother and an uncle.
Yeah.
At some point, he actually offered me to come and stay with him at his house.
So you
I told him that I was starting at FBC Bank.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay, go ahead. But in those 2 years, he understood it because it was balancing.
Yeah.
But when he was also equally shocked when I told him that I think I'm just gonna lay low. I thought it was gonna be for a year or two, and then probably I'll come back. Yeah, maybe the Bankers League, but then it was also quite exciting.
Exciting and competitive.
Yeah. So probably then a year, like always, got into 2 years, and you go to a point where you are like, okay, I need to refocus on my career path.
Yeah.
That's when I seriously started doing my law degree, finished my law degree in good time. Fast forward 2018, got a scholarship. Through a Chevening scholarship. It's a scholarship that is given by the UK government. It's quite a prestigious scholarship, by the way. I'm pretty sure in the academic circles, if you just say I'm a Chevener, it's that
prestigious.
It's that prestigious. So I was fortunate enough to get a Chevening scholarship in 2018. Went to London, Queen Mary University of London, did my masters in banking and finance law. Came back last year.
So it was easy for you to do that, the masters, since you also now had the law degrees and such.
Even the Bible says everything works for good. It's all connected. Yeah. So it's that transformation. It was not easy. It was a hard transformation. Looking at a person like myself, Mutare, who was given an opportunity to flourish.
No, let me tell you. I read this book, The Alchemist. It best describes what is happening and what happened to you. You see, it was the talent. You see, we were all given talents. But talents. But my talents say do I end livelihood. You know, munwe say paspana many talent get a livelihood. But when one not put on my talents are what I'm chase something else and they don't prosper, they don't go to where you don't get there if you are pursuing something that is not your talent. So your talent was football. So if you take 10 years ago, you wouldn't be sitting here.
Precisely.
So your calling was football. You know, it was meant to get there. So football is the one that gave you the law degree.
Exactly. Yeah.
Your talent gave you that. So somewhere it's like it means somewhere. Like now pursue something that is your calling.
Yeah. Now it's all coming together. It's now because of age, as they say, why mature with age?
You see what I'm talking about now completely agrees with what we're gonna discuss now, because we didn't lose you from football. You are still doing football.
Exactly.
Even if it's not playing the game, but
another way.
Here in some way, you're doing something about football. Take us through it.
So now, after I came back, like I said, I had a little stint at Afrexim Bank, the African Export and Import Bank. I came back, did the whole of last year I was working for a UK law firm. It's a sovereign debt and advisory, investment advisory and arbitration law firm. That's when I just felt I needed to, because this was a remote job. I felt like I needed to come back to football, and I've also been having calls. I think Norman Moroto is a closest friend of mine. Is one of my confident. He's always saying, "No, come back, Kubora. We need you, Kubora. Come back, Kubora." And
it's your calling.
It is. After all, it is. So when I came back, I thought, what best way to serve? I realized, okay, I've got a law degree. I've got football experience. I've got banking experience, and I saw a gap in terms of football management, talent management. These youngsters also need a little bit of mentors, people that they look up to, people that give them direction. So I just started an agency. So part of the agency, I started a group. It's a sporting group. So the whole idea is to have massive investment into sport. So it's purely sport. The group that I started, and in the group, I think the agency is the spearhead of the whole group, because we thought we needed to have an agency that deals with talent management, marketing, and branding. Because what we are missing out is we don't necessarily brand our players. We don't necessarily market our players as much. If I ask you who has a marketing or endorsement deal amongst the local players, it's difficult to come up with a name. So we felt there's a gap that we needed to explore. So my understanding or my inclination is football is an industry. Football is a sector. It's as good as mining. It's as good as banking. It's as good as manufacturing. This is an industry. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
That's what a lot of people don't realize. Exactly. Including some of the people that are actually owning clubs in the country. They don't realize that this is actually a business, just like in mining that needs investment, whether it's about with money, your time, your energy. You need that for the industry to flourish. And some that are actually companies that own businesses that are sponsoring football, they use it as a pastime. They don't actually see subsidiary company. Football is a department of this company.
And for a fact, name one doctor who earns more than Kylian Mbappe at the moment. No way. So we need to have that shift, mindset shift, where we say that's a paradigm, a paradigm shift where it has to be wholesome. I think you have been doing a very good job yourself and SoccerNet. It's part of the driving forces in football, for people to understand that football is a business. It's unfortunate we in Zimbabwe, but with continued connectivity and this informational world, everything is bound. We no longer have delimitations. We no longer have boundaries. So this conversation of football as a business, it has to start, and we are just trying to push it to start. Like we have rightly said, we haven't sat down to appreciate football as a business. So even if you are going to, like you gave a very good example, even people who are owning beats or who are owning clubs, people who are running football. That's why probably we have chaos in the governance,
because they don't see it as football. So it's business, and some of them they will say football is business, but they don't do business. Then they don't act. Like they're doing business. I'm not sure what business they are talking about when all they think about is playing the game and collecting gate takings and
just running with the gate takings, paying the players. So we what we are trying to do is we're trying through the agency. So the agency is set into the player management. We also have consultants and advisory, sports consultants and advisory. We also have events management. So through our events management wing, what we have put what we're trying to organize is the face of its kind football forum. So the whole idea behind is bringing all stakeholders in one room, right? Just starting to discuss, right? Inciting experiences, information, knowledge about football as a business, right? The chief aim is to spark that idea that we can make.
Put a fire on.
That we can actually make football a business. I think even at that macro level,
Even in this economy,
exactly.
Even in this,
exactly.
You see, the biggest problem is you hear the first thing, people that don't want to think deeper, the first thing that they will tell you, not in this economy.
No, this is the best economy.
It's actually sad.
I had an opportunity to meet His Excellency Ambassador, Mr. Katsandi, the ambassador, Zima ambassador in the UK.
Yeah.
And we had the same very similar conversation. And our conversation was questioning how many Brazilian players are playing in Europe. Yeah, it's countless, bro.
And that's how much money for Brazil. How much money, foreign currency for Brazil.
And in terms of Zim, we have been, if you see Zim at an economic level, we have also been so much reliant on remittances.
Yeah.
Just imagine how much remittances go to Brazil.
Exactly.
Through football.
That's through those big infrastructure development.
Massive.
Those guys have got businesses in Brazil. They spend their money in Brazil.
Yeah.
Ronaldo goes back to Brazil. Ronaldinho he goes back to Brazil.
Neymar has a massive
Rafinha goes back to Brazil. Rivaldo goes back to Brazil. They've got massive projects in Brazil. That is what football can bring. What about this? That's the marketing for the country.
And the beauty about Zim is, one, but I'm pretty sure as Africans we are so athletic. Two, in Zim we have got massive raw talent. I've been moving around the academies. Regardless of the absence of proper football development structures like the ones that we had. When you go there, these academies are putting in so much effort, so much
from their own pockets. But these passionate guys,
exactly, all these passionate guys. If you go there, you can see massive talent. So it's that easy to just start the conversation and get that talent to go out, which in a way also brings in inflow for the country.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure what we're trying, these conversations is we want to have a platform where where you're coming from, where I'm coming from, we get to sit with all the critical leading stakeholders in the sporting industry, in the football industry, and start a conversation. Say, how can we make football a business that doesn't necessarily help an individual, but goes ahead to help households, communities, and the country. Yeah. So that's why we are having our first Zimbabwe Football Forum, which we have scheduled 30 September.
Okay.
So it's the 30th of September. So we have tried to rope in regional speakers that we felt we might also need to have their experiences, their knowledge, and how they're doing it.
Where have you?
So far we're in conversation with. I might not be at liberty to say out the name. You can forgive me because we haven't been.
Okay. Yes.
So we had conversations with two leading administrators from SA, a club owner from SA, a CEO of a club in Tanzania. So we're just trying to rope in the regional, because if you look at it, Tanzania, it was behind us a few years ago.
But the streets ahead. Way ahead of us now.
Now, and we wanna try and then discuss.
How do they do it?
How are you guys doing it? Yeah. What is the difference between ourselves and between themselves and ourselves? And I'm pretty sure that's the whole idea why we.
And someone will just jump and tell you that the difference is economy.
No. We have to make sure.
Do it.
We have to make sure the fundamentals are in place.
It frustrates me.
Yeah, look at it. We're talking about the governance, and if you for any institution, they will tell you corporate governance, and now corporate governance is being sung from all corners. We also want to put that into football. Yeah, we want to put structuring into football. We want to put control systems into football. We want to put technology into football. Yeah, we want to put marketing into football, branding into football. If you just go online,
the whole football business.
Yeah. It's a business. You have to take it as a business, and probably that's why we felt the Zimbabwe Football Forum is a must do. It's quite pertinent, and for some reason it coincides very well with what's happening. I think what's happening with SRC ZIFA, I think it comes into complement that they're doing it from a governance perspective. We come in to just create a platform from a business perspective. So that's the kind of work that we're doing with the event management of our agency. And the agency side, we are trying to just identify talented youngsters, put them through a system
Mm-hmm.
that supports the talent 360 degrees.
With an end goal.
They didn't go, yeah, we want to check these young boys out.
Yes.
We want the young boys to contribute to the economy. We want the young boys to change their communities. Yeah, we want these young boys. Exactly. Look at what Nakamba is doing right now. It's phenomenal.
It's part of the economy. Exactly. That's where people don't miss it.
Yeah.
That this is actually football. Actually, when done right, it plays a part.
Exactly.
In building this very bad economy. Actually, economy bad. Let's use football to actually play its part
and even,
to do it.
And as Nelson Mandela said it, sport and football in particular is a unifier.
Yeah.
So we just have to write on its unifying force to just make sure we bring everybody together and start going as a country.
And maybe you living football at that age could actually be a blessing in disguise for Zimbabwe football with these ideas that you're coming. If you hadn't left football, you wouldn't be having all these things in your mind and trying to get football and to be in that position to actually get this thing together so that we can do it. So maybe the calling was good enough so that you can actually, the football calling, so that you can actually come back and help football.
No.
In the end.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Like as the Bible said, I want to quote the Bible. The Bible says everything works for good.
Yeah. For the common good. Yeah, everything works for good. Everything comes together.
That's what it means. Everything works for good. So I'm pretty sure this was just a 360 degrees, which is getting me back into football.
It was meant to.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, thank
you very much for coming and sharing your story. You know, we've always been intrigued. A lot of people, they wouldn't understand why this talented youngster who kept in Zimbabwe at under 20 level just decides to leave football and go somewhere. And probably they don't know where you are. And I'm happy that we've got Zim Sokanet here in touch with the legend. We are here to bring these legends back here to tell us the story. We told us, this is what we are doing now. You know, so I'm happy that you came, and I'm also excited about the 30 September gig that you are bringing here. We look forward to hopefully a lot of all the club owners and companies that are sponsoring clubs here take part in the gig, so that we can actually try to move forward with football in this economy. Football can play its part to actually uplift the economy. So well done to you. Well done for graduating with your masters as well. Well done for everything that you have done, and thanks to your friend who invited you to FBC Bank. FBC Bank. So we look forward to actually having more of you in football. You know, we want to see a lot more of you and your company in football as well, as we help uplift football. So the last question that we always ask anybody who comes here: who is your best ever teammate?
Best ever teammate?
Not close friend.
I know.
Best player.
I know teammate. I've always said it, and I'll say it again. Rowan Enzo. He was that good. No, Rowan was that good.
Rowan Enzo. I think we should bring him here. We want him here on Interview with the Legend. Guys, this has been an interesting story from Terrence Malunga, Jemba. Yes, he was here to share with us their footballing story. Now we have just run out of time. I'm sure you appreciated and enjoyed the show. Like you were saying, football is business. Are we going to see football being taken as business in the country? That's all that we want to see in the future in Zimbabwean football. But for now, we have run out of time. Like I said, my name is Alois Bunjira. Nyara's group powering this show. We are on Zim Sokanet. We are out of here. See you next week when we bring you another footballing legend to come share with us their football journey. Cheers, guys.